part of having a really healthy community is a community of people that know how to care for themselves through food and alternative healing methods. And so for that reason, we have some alternative healing practitioners here today to speak to us about some of those issues. So I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Deborah Penner, who will be speaking to us about foundation nutrition and the amazing energy generators. So thank you, Dr.
I'm going to talk to you about your very personal resources. We are the preeminent mammals on this planet. As healthy as we are, so follows the planet. And for better or worse, we seem to be in charge. I have been in clinical practice for 33 years. 33 years of listening to people's health concerns and seeking answers to the big questions of systemic health. There's an old saying that goes, truth drops like a stone. In this talk, I'm going to be talking about a nutritional truth that has dropped like a stone for me personally, as well as clinically. I grew up on a Mennonite farm out of town here in Northern California. We grew most all of our food, meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts, and honey. Whole food was a way of life for our family. By the time I was about 5 or 6 years old, I was dealing with some pretty serious health challenges. Terrible allergies, asthma, and chronic respiratory infections. And these conditions continued to plague me into adulthood, and they complexed into other things like fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and chronic skin problems. And I would say that my health challenges had a whole lot to do with the way my career panned out and what choices I made. As a physician, I gathered information, I applied it to my own life, and shared it with my patients. I observed that everybody does better on whole foods, and that most people have less inflammation when they stay away from gluten-containing grains, especially wheat. However, as I watched even gluten-free whole foodists develop metabolic syndrome, which is high blood pressure, high blood sugars, high blood lipids, and weight gain, I knew that there had to be more to the story than just whole foods. So in 2010, focusing on detoxification, I started a 3-week purification program that I delivered to individuals and groups. In this program, we ate vegetables and fruits for 2 weeks. The first week was raw only. The second week was raw and cooked. And then the third week, we would add in proteins and fats. I observed that many people found that the first 2 weeks of this program were rather difficult, and I was among them. They were hungry, and they had cravings. But nonetheless, many succeeded in having very positive outcomes, some of them even life-changing. Others, not so much. While some people lost weight real easily, other people struggled to lose any weight at all. While some people saw a tremendous drop in inflammation, improvement of symptoms like chronic pain and headaches and so forth, other people didn't make significant gains. I also came to realize that the people who struggled the most with the program had the highest rate of recidivism. And I started to focus on those people. What was different about them? And so after studying the human energy pathway and pondering my strugglers for a while, I had a suspicion. And I began to suspect that my strugglers were carbohydrate intolerant. And as it turned out, I was on the right track. So I started to develop a nutritional ketosis program. And then I finally started to see the kind of results that had been elusive for so long. I started to see that people who hadn't been able to lose weight before could lose weight. I saw that people who couldn't drop their inflammatory levels and be relieved of chronic pain and so forth started having great results. People with migraine headaches didn't have them anymore. People had better sleep and anxiety, less anxiety, and improved immunity. And I came to realize that nutritional ketosis, also known as fat burning, also known as keto, is one of the most powerful tools a person can possibly have to positively manage health and extend their lives. You see, humans are dual fuel hybrids. You can use sugar or glucose to burn for fuel, or you can use fat as ketones to burn for fuel. But these fuels cannot be used efficiently at the same time. It's one or the other. And while glucose is processed into the cells of the body by the hormone insulin, fats are converted to ketones in the liver by an enzymatic reaction and do not require any insulin at all. Glucose is a dirty fuel. I equate it to burning a tire in your living room to stay warm in the winter. And frankly, most people aren't going to do that because they know that tire fumes are super toxic. But I have learned that eating carbohydrates every day as a primary source of fuel is just as surely polluting your body with poisonous trouble as lighting a tire in your room every day. Healthy fats, on the other hand, are like burning hardwood logs in an airtight wood stove. Very long, clean burn. The tricky part of all of this is you can't just add fats to carbohydrates. You have to remove the carbohydrates. You see, your brilliant body will 100% of the time burn carbs before fats. And after glucose is processed into your cells via insulin, it takes a varying amount of time for those metabolites to clear out of your system. And only then, after those metabolites are gone, will your liver start making ketones out of fat for primary fuel. The bottom line is, if you eat more than 20, at the most 50 grams of carbohydrate a day, you will never burn fat for fuel. And by the way, high protein diets are problematic too. A body can only use a finite amount of protein. I see a lot of people, especially athletes, pushing high protein smoothies, and this is just a bad idea. Protein stresses out your kidneys. Frankly, if you have more protein than you can use, it just goes through your liver, is turned into sugar, and goes down the sugar pathway. You might as well have a candy bar. Additionally, excess protein activates a very important regulatory system in your body called the mTOR pathway. And that pathway determines whether your body is going to delegate its energy towards making more cells, like you need to when you're growing or when you're gestating a child, or whether your body is going to delegate its energy to repairing the cells you already have. Protein needs vary according to people, vary according to size, age, and activity. So when you eat a low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat diet, most people will enter the state of nutritional ketosis or fat burning within 10 days. I can usually tell when somebody has moved into ketosis just by the way they look and act, because they're just lighter and they're brighter. And when I ask them how they're doing, they just say, great, usually with this big smile on their face. And then I know. Once you have entered the realm of ketosis, you ideally want to stay there, uninterrupted as possible, for 18 weeks, basically 4 months. During this time, your body undergoes adaptive changes, particular to fat burning. This process is known as ketogenic adaptation. Once you're adapted to fat burning, your body will utilize water and minerals differently. Your thyroid function will trend to stabilize. Inflammatory process driven by sugar and insulin will settle down, relieving a host of symptoms like arthritis, anxiety, heartburn, rosacea, headaches, and body pain. Blood sugars, even for insulin-dependent diabetics, will tend to normalize and stabilize. Hunger and cravings will tend to disappear. Energy levels will rise and stabilize. Brain fog clears. Bad attitudes tend to improve. And weight is virtually always lost. Your nervous system loves fat for fuel. Nutritional ketosis has proven helpful in virtually all neurological concerns, including seizure disorders, dementia, and autoimmune disease. And then there is the huge discussion around keto and cancer. Know this, cancer cells thrive on sugar. That's why PET scans work. They measure the glucose uptake of cells, and cells sucking up a lot of sugar show us as cancer. A word of caution on this topic. Please do not confuse the term nutritional ketosis with ketoacidosis. Ketoacidosis is a very dangerous situation that only occurs in type 1 diabetics, and it has little or nothing to do with nutritional ketosis. I have come to regard fat burning as one of the most powerful tools you can have. It's like you have this amazing energy generator in the closet of your body. You might not even know that it's there. But knowing that it is there and how to turn it on and use it puts this powerful tool in your toolbox for life. Conveniently, virtually all dietary paradigms can be adapted to fat burning. Carnivores, omnivores, vegetarians, even vegans, all can burn fat for fuel. So, am I recommending that everybody lives in nutritional ketosis 100% for the rest of their lives? No. But I will say that it behooves people with certain chronic conditions to stay in fat burning 100% of the time, while others can choose to cycle in and out of fat burning and still reap the profound benefits such as weight management, inflammatory control, enhanced mental clarity, and extended longevity. The fact is that once you realize how great it feels to be a fat burner, you're probably going to want to spend the majority of your time there. Regardless, if you don't know that you have this amazing tool and how to use it, it does you no good at all. I'd like to share with you a few of my favorite resources and encourage you to learn more about nutritional ketosis for yourself and the people you care about. First of all, I would like to just mention Drs. Ron Rosedale and Drs. Robert Lustig, who are among the first medical doctors to brilliantly and courageously speak out on this topic in spite of mainstream misinformation and pushback. And also, Mr. Gary Taubes, one of the world's most premier investigative journalists, wrote this amazing book, Good Calories, Bad Calories, only to realize he'd written a book that most people were never going to read because it's just too dense. So he summarized it, and he came up with another book that I don't have with me today. It's called Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It. But it's frankly about a lot more than just being fat. And frankly, the only reason I got through this book is because about 10 years ago, I had a 3-week house sit in a house on the top of a mountain in the middle of the jungle in the middle of Costa Rica. And it was a 4-wheel drive, 40-minute, 5-minute drive to the nearest town. But now I'm eternally grateful for that time of isolation because I ended up understanding so much more about the history and evolution of nutritional thought and how we got into the mess we are in today. And I also developed a much better understanding of all the factors involved and how to work with people towards better health. This is a marvelous keto cookbook, and it's written by the world's premier blogger, Jimmy Moore, who went on keto to prove somebody wrong and ended up losing 180 pounds and changing his life. And this is a wonderful book by some of the best researchers on the topic, Drs. Volek and Finney, who have tirelessly researched. And the last publication, the most recent, this is Dr. McCullough. He's kind of a firebrand, but he has pulled scads of information together in a very logical and engaging book. So, it's my sincere hope that you, my planetary companions, will recognize some truth in my words today, and some of that truth will drop like a stone.
So again,